to make my big dreams that I always envisioned from a little girl till now, and I wanted to make those reality, and that's what I'm doing. My story is I am a small girl with big dreams that are making those big dreams my big reality. So if I loved everything about my job and you gave me this desired salary that I wanted, what kind of offer would I consider from another employer? I wouldn't consider another offer because you did everything in your power to give me everything I needed. You did everything you did to sustain me as a candidate to be employed by you guys. So what I'll do is I figure out how I can be a contributing factor so I can sustain you guys as an employee. I wouldn't consider no other offer because at this moment I would figure out how can we build our relationship and how can this company help elevate me to my next plateau. The last time my work day ended before my day end, I was working at Texas Joint and Spine, my last job in Dallas. And what happened was that we had two events, and I was coordinating both events on top of the daily work that I always do, which was promote and market and sustain our regular clients throughout the day. So I also had to call and make sure our clients had appointments as well as prepare for these two events that we had around the same allotted time. But I had to do an assess and evaluation that I couldn't be at two places at one time and complete my job. So the way I handled that, I took a risk and I did an assessment, and I was like, you know what? We have two people who part of our marketing team. One of us can be at one event and another one of us can be at the other event. Even though I booked both of them and they wanted me to be there, I had to explain to my other person for one of the events, the apartment events, that I have another person who's part of my marketing team, and he has the same core values, and he will still build those same relations with your apartment residents for this event that'll get them to come out to your community residential event. And so with that, it happened, and my coworker came back and told me they had over 30 to 40 people come out to their event, and I had the same amount of people that came out to mine, and I still went home to build those client relations, to call and remind people about their appointment. I went home and continued to finish my work. Regardless if my day ended before my work day, I would still go home and finish what I needs to be done because I always think with the end in mind. You cannot complete no job. You cannot start another job task or start something different for a new day if you haven't finished the things that you've done the day before. So I didn't really get no sleep the night before, but it didn't matter because I had to make sure that the job was completed, and that's how I slept well. It's Friday. I have an urgent business meeting on Monday. How would I react? Well, the way I react is I will keep it pushing. I will book my flight for my urgent business on Monday. Regardless if the ticket is expensive, I will have to do what I have to do. When you have situations like that where it's urgent or it comes at the last minute and you facing with pressure, you progressively move on. You can't stop and think about what you're going to do like, oh my god, it's the last minute. No, you stop and think, okay, it's the last minute now, what I got to do next to execute this to make it be successful. So I have an urgent business on Monday. Hey, let me call and book a flight right now. Even if the flights are booked, hey, they have trains. They also have the bus. So I will figure out a way to get an express bus or express train to handle my business that I have to do on Monday. At the end of the day, when life throws you situations, you got to know how to grab them like the horn on a bull, and you got to keep it moving. So when I have something urgent, I'm gonna keep it moving and get it done. My fashion icon is Somalian fashion model and mogul philanthropic Iman. I love everything about her style when she first stepped into the modeling scene until now. She is in her 60s and she is graceful. I love her cutting edge ways that she did in the culture that she was in the early 80s and in the 90s. And then I also love how now she's still able to be 60 to still, as my culture would say, slay in a very, oh my God, graceful manner. I love the pieces she wears. I love the one of my favorite pieces that she did was a black and white one, and I love the campaign she did with Tommy Hilfiger in 2002 with husband David Bowie, and how they kind of just captured the black and white of her relationship with him. But I love the campaign because it showed how in a black and white world that her fashion and her grace can still shine through. Even though it was black and white, I still saw the colors and saw how intricate her style was, from just her big pieces that she wear with her accessories, and how it goes with the vibrant oranges and the vibrant browns, like the earth tone colors that she wears. And I always notice is that when she uses makeup for her eyeshadow, it's always that smoky eye, but it's always not over the top. It always has just a ripple effect of her fashion. It lays on so perfectly, and that's what I love about her fashion. And another thing is that she married my other fashion icon, which is David Bowie, and he was just bold and loud with it. Just different things, from his hairstyle to his pieces. Is he did not care. He was cutting edge, and he was a man before his time. I would say the best position thus far I've had was when I was the communications intern for AARP Georgia. I love that position because I wasn't creatively put in a box. I came up with so many innovative ideas for their volunteers. I was also enthused that they let me take on leadership roles on certain campaigns, such as their iHeart Caregivers, Fraud Watch Network, and Financial Resiliency, which was their top three. And I was so excited that I was able to teach a digital marketing social media class to their volunteers on how we can promote these three programs while we're at events that are raising awareness, are informing our community about how they should, become a great caregiver, or how they should, be protected about Fraud Watch, and how they should have financial resiliency and be able to save money after retirement and then still enjoy their life. I think that was like an awesome position, because not only did it allow me to take leadership roles and I wasn't creative put in a box, but it allowed me to see myself in a future limelight and what I can do after retirement. So I love so much everything about that position. And I love the opportunities I was granted, and the people that I network with, and my boss. Not only was she my boss, but now she's my mentor, and she continues to mentor me through my career walk, and just mold me into helping me to get, be the better me that I can be. My dream job is to have my own show, and my own show with my father. And I want to have a show that's for the people, not necessarily for me. I want to have a show that's for the people. That is my dream job. I always wanted to use certain media outlets to express the voice of the people that they don't feel like they can share, even though we do live in a transparency generation where we do have social media and everybody has a freedom of speech. But for those who still don't feel like they are being unheard, or they feel like they're being misinterpreted or misunderstood, I always wanted to have a platform that I'd be able to have them to express that. And I wanted to do that with somebody who encouraged me as a young child that my dreams can be as big regardless of the environment that I was in, and that told me to be a vocal person for the people, who always encouraged me. And I would say that's my dad. I would feel like having a show with him would be something new for society, because we have this kinship, and not only does he encourage me, but I encourage him. So I want to do something where I can do something with a person that I love and that's so dear to me, who has encouraged my walk with my career, but also have a show that's for the people. And I will bridge so issues that we have on today in society, but I also would incorporate that with sports, and how can sports and our society with this array of political, economic success, as well as just the culture that we live in, pop culture. How can we bridge the gap between the two instead of making them all separate entities? Because at the end of the day, they are still things that people are vocal about NBA players and about who's our presidency, our candidacy, or who is in our local office. And I just want to bridge the gap between the two, and I want to do that with my dad because we have the same ideas, and like I said, he's encouraged me so far with my walk in my career, and I think this would be a great platform for me and him to show that we are a dynamic father and daughter duo. So that is my dream job. The theme song of my work ethic will be Magnificent by John Legend and Rick Ross. I love that song. Is first of all, magnificent is my work ethic. I do everything in excellence, and I try to go hard. And like I said, I always think with the end in mind. So I always try to complete my job, and I always try to do it on a level of expertise and try to be a 10. I like to have kind of like 10s across the board. And when you hear 10s across the board for a work ethic, that's really magnificent. Like that's amazing. That's magnificent. So that's why I love that song. And not only that, if you just listen to the rhythm and the beat of the song, not only are the words angelic and inspiring, but the beat is too. So it just kind of fits for the song, and that's me. I'm magnificent in essence, but I fit for a company. I would say a mistake that I made in my past job and the way I handled the situation would be I kind of limit myself. I didn't, that was a mistake. I didn't kind of push the envelope to be more creative in my last job in Dallas. I kind of let them put me in the box. And I've known through my past experiences and work experiences with my internships or any other job that I have had while in undergrad that I always push the envelope regardless if I was an intern or if I was just shadowing or volunteering. I always push the envelope for creativity, for me to do something big. And this time, because the position was the duties they wanted me to do was limited, or it allowed my creativity was limited, I kind of set myself to be stuck in that box and not pushing myself or to have, pushing them for me to be more creative and say, hey, this is something, even though we're doing it this way, let's kind of ante up a little bit more or be more open to more ideas. And I didn't do that. And the way I kind of handled that situation is I did an assess and evaluation that I was like, hey, I did this and this was a mistake I made in my past job. I don't want to do this in the future. And when I noticed that I was doing that on my job, towards the end of my job, I started to become more open with my ideas and being more creative and pushing the envelope for them to say, hey, look, this is something we need to do. And this is something, this is what marketing tool we need to use. Or this is who we need to contact to make the brand bigger of our chiropractic office. And with that, just in that short envelope of time of 2 months when I realized it, that we were allowed to open up a second chiropractic office. So we weren't just one, we were one name and two locations, and it allowed me to create all day marketing tools, not just marketing tools for one project, but I created all the marketing tools and materials for both chiropractic locations. So once I assessed and evaluated what I was doing wrong, I try to quickly have a turnaround rate on correcting it. The reason why I want to work for Zenzii is because I love the brand and the accessory line, and I can see where it's going. I've already created strategies that I think would be helpful for Zenzii because I see the bigness of what it's going to be. I've seen how you have certain pieces on certain celebrities such as Keke Palmer, who did on Scream Queens, and then you also did a photo shoot with the undisputed awesome photographer Mr. Derek Blanks, and I saw how you guys are capturing, I would say for me, the Zenzii experience. You guys, if you take Z out and do Zen, that means calm and peaceful, and I see that you guys are embodying that with your accessory lines and your pieces. And not only that, I can just see that you're incorporating that with your employees as well. As I looked at my job description, you guys have a yoga mat, and during lunchtime, you guys have the time for you to just creatively be at peace. And that's what I love about wanting to work for you guys' company, because you guys not only are Zenzii, but you guys embody that, and I can see myself working for you guys' company. My interpretation of the marketing coordinator position is to come up with some more strategies that help boost the brand on on e-commerce, being able to work with Magenta, which is a huge e-commerce website to sell accessories and a fashion apparel. Also, just to have, I would say, the marketing coordinator position, my overall sense of it is to come in and be able to market, and have a structure to market to new clients. Zenzii already has showrooms in Dallas, Atlanta, and New York, which are now three of America's, especially in high fashion, emerging fashion cities like metro areas, Dallas, New York, and Atlanta. So I feel like as the marketing coordinator, I for the position will be able to structure some ideas to make those brands big, to make those showrooms bigger, and to have customers come to not only get the same experience that they get on showrooms, but have the same, gravitation to when they purchase the materials on e-commerce, as well as just being able to be helpful to my marketing manager and suggesting some ideas, and continue to build those client relations that we already have. We want people to feel like a celebrity when they have on Zenzii jewelry, and my job as a marketing coordinator is to be able to market that as a brand. A unique talent of mine, I would say, I never told this to anyone, I'm telling this to you guys, is that I can actually sing. I'm not no karaoke singer. I can actually sing. I've always, in my free time, when I'm not doing anything or not creatively coming up with new ideas for a brand, I feel like me singing is one of my outlets, and it's another way I express myself. And anything that is inside of me, I would say that's bottled up, I channel those emotions and I sing them. And I don't sing other people's songs. The cool thing about it is that I write my own material. So sometimes I come up with, look on YouTube for instrumentals and I sing over those. Or I will say I have a Little Wayne method. If you know the culture behind and his rap style, is that he doesn't write none of his raps. Sometimes he actually just gets a beat and just freestyle off his dome, and that sometimes is what I do as well. If I hear a beat, I can just kind of sing off the dome, sing on topic, come up with something that will grab if I had an audience, if I wanted to pursue that career, grab their attention. And like, oh my God, you would never know that I just came up with that on the fly. So that is something, a unique talent that I have, that I can sing. I'm very shy about it. I'm very shy when it comes to singing in front of people, even though I don't mind doing public speaking, but that's something I'm shy about, because that's something intimate for me, because that is just my outlet and another way I express myself through freedom.